All right, so we're talking a little bit about how the Supreme Court judges actually decide a case. The case got to the Supreme Court, the case heard the arguments and read about the arguments, and now months later, it's time for them to actually announce their decision. So it's important to know that in Supreme Court cases, the Supreme Court gives what are called opinions, not verdicts. Verdicts occur in criminal court. Opinions are given in a Supreme Court case. It's also important to note that in a criminal case, the jury has to be unanimous in their decision. That doesn't have to be the case in a Supreme Court decision. Majority rules. So you have 9 justices, 5 have to agree to your side for your side to win. Right? So we issue what are called opinions. So basically, what happens is after the Supreme Court takes a vote, and we know what side wins and what side loses, one justice is selected to write what's called the majority opinion. So in the case of Citizens United, it was 5-4. 5 basically decided for Citizens United, and 4 for FEC. So of the 5 judges that basically decided for Citizens United, we talked about that case earlier in the year, one of those justices will be picked to write what's called the majority opinion. The majority opinion is simply one individual on the majority side that's explaining their own thought process behind why they voted in favor of Citizens United winning the case. They're not speaking on behalf of everybody. They're speaking on behalf of themselves. So if the Chief Justice is on the side of the majority, John Roberts could choose to either write the opinion himself, or he could select who he wants to write the opinion. If the Chief Justice is not on the side, it basically goes to the most senior member on the majority side, who's been on the court the longest, to basically decide who's going to write the opinion. So it's one of the perks of being the Chief Justice, gives you some power. And then one justice will be selected to write what's called the dissenting opinion. So of the 4 faded out justices that ruled against Citizens United in favor of the Federal Election Commission, one of those individuals will be selected to write what's called the dissenting opinion. And that's going to explain why that individual judge disagreed with the majority of the Supreme Court's decision in the case, like why they got it wrong, right? Again, if the Chief Justice is on that side, the Chief Justice can write the dissenting opinion. Somebody else can be selected to do it, or somebody could volunteer if they wanted to as well. And then let's say that you weren't selected to write either the majority opinion or the dissenting opinion, but you still want your voice to be heard. You could write what's called a concurring opinion. It's like, hey, I wasn't selected to write the majority opinion, and I wasn't selected to write the dissenting opinion, but I want my voice to be heard, so I'm going to file what's called a concurring opinion. It's like you're going to add something to the majority opinion, or you're going to add something to the dissenting opinion, but you just want to make sure that your voice is heard because you weren't actually selected to write one of the opinions one way or the other. So again, this is how the decisions are actually announced, is through opinions. If it's unanimous, there'll just be a majority opinion. If it's not unanimous, like this case, there'll be a majority and a dissenting opinion. And then ultimately, the other justices can decide to attach concurring opinions explaining their rationale if they want to.